How does the Pitru Paksha ritual helps you with the thing across? For example, there used to be a lot of fighting in my family. There used to be a lot of misunderstanding in my family. My brother also developed a lot of psychiatric issues across. So therefore, I was very perplexed that why in my house that there were a lot of emotional disturbances, that there were a lot of family problems across. The families were not happy, harmonious, peaceful, that there was a lot of difference of opinion, lot of anger and hatred towards each other, and the non-listening was there as a person. Therefore, I was very worried and I asked my uncle. My uncle told me a very important thing. He said, your father does not give tarpana on Amavasya days. Your father does not perform the Shraddh. So that is the main reason why you families are fighting and there is a lot of misunderstanding is there. And I asked him what is the solution for it. He simply told, if you had to restart the ritual of doing the ancestors worship or doing the Shraddh, your family life will become peaceful. Now from that year onwards, we started doing the ritual for my grandfather and for my grandmother, and over a period of time, after my father passed away, every year we started doing the ritual. Actually, there is a sense of peace. There is a sense of happiness. There is a sense of get-togetherness between the family. There is an understanding, and then there is a harmony and peacefulness has come to our lives across. So the first and the foremost important thing is that people do get disturbed because they are not doing the ancestors worship. I have checked across, ancestors worship is done in Africa, ancestors worship is done with the Aztecs, ancestors worship is done across the Mayan civilization, ancestors worship is done in Buddhism, ancestors worship is done in Hinduism. So therefore ancestors worship is something very, very common across. Now, there was a particular dream a person had. In that particular dream, there was an ancestor who he saw in that particular dream. He saw all the family members were overlooked by their ancestors. Therefore, ancestors do play a protective role in the family life across. Actually, I heard a very, very bizarre story of a lady who had a problem. Suddenly, her husband had developed a lot of problem and the health issues across. And because of the health issues, she started praying her father, who came into her dream, and he told that there is some kind of a misunderstanding in the process. Don't worry, your husband will recover. And sure enough, within a few months, actually the husband recovered and some other person in that particular lineage passed away across as a person. Now this is the impact of the Pitrus. And also there was my relative who passed away, and during that night I had a lot of restless sensation. I had a lot of restlessness across during that particular period across. And actually I heard the news that she passed away across. So we are all connected in the broader sense. We are all connected in the broader family across. So if you do the ancestors worship, we do get a lot of their blessing across. Actually, one of the main reason why many people find it very difficult to conceive, many people find it very, very difficult to have progeny, have a baby across, That main reason is because of the Pitru curse. It is written in the Shastras that if you do Thila Homa, if you do the Pitru Paksha worship, Pitru's worship properly by giving Sardha and Tila Tarpana, the curse will get removed across. So many people have a problem in these days for consumption. So one of the important thing of Vamsa Vriddhi is consumption, and that Vamsa Vriddhi happens very easily across with the Pitru's blessing, because it is the Pitru who gets connected in the lineage and be born across as a person. So therefore this is the main reason why many people have their progeny conceived. Now we did a Thila Homa for a particular person. Sure enough, the lady was in America and she conceived across very easily. So therefore this conception and the conception problem can be easily solved using the Thila Homa. The other problem is many people don't get married. They have a huge marriage problem. They must have tried out all kinds of remedial measure across. Now, even though they try the remedial measure across, their getting marriage can get delayed, postponed, has a lot of difficulty across as a person. Now, when they do Tilahoma, the mind gets cleared, the link sync and the coincidence happens, the Karya Siddhi easily happens across, so that the person is able to get married. We did a Tilahoma for a person who is nearly 40 years old and was not getting any kind of proper alliances across. They did the Pitru Homa, and immediately there was a girl who came across, and then they got married across. And therefore, very important thing, very late marriage and having progeny problems, having psychiatric problem, to a very great extent the Pitru curse is there. That is why people have a lot of problem into their person's life across. And also in the lineage, in many of the lineage who have a problem financially, somebody would have committed suicide or would have died in a manner which is ghastly, like accident, fire accident, jumping up from the top of the thing or something like that. They will get very disturbed across. If they get disturbed, the vibration tends to hit the family members and they tend to curse and they cannot help themselves. So actually you have to do the Tila Homa, you have to do the Tila Tarpana, you have to do the Shraddh for them to go upward on a journey and complete their Moksha thing across. So when many of the people die without having any kind of Moksha Gadi, they tend to disturb the other family members. For example, one of the biggest problem of Sri Lanka is many of the LTT Tamilians got killed. They never had a Tarpana, they never had a Tilahoma, all of them were there. So therefore it conspired itself and it created a drought-like situation where these people find it very difficult to cultivate, and they have a food problem and a food crisis which is running out of thing. So therefore for Sri Lanka problem to get solved, they have to offer the Tila Homa, Tila Tarpana and the Pinda Shraddha to all the Tamilians who have died across in the battle of Sri Lanka, which will help them to clear the energy. So there are multiple uses in the doing the Tilahoma. One is getting married, one is the Atma reaches the Moksha Gadi, one is having progeny, one is having the emotional disturbance very less, psychiatric problem tend to get reduced across, and overall they tend to be on a better frame of mind. So these are the various uses of Tilahoma. The event gets stuck, the event has a problem, then this is the way out. So therefore, this is the usage of the Thila Homa, which can have a very, very big impact on a person's life. Thank you.